All right, let's watch the Bozo report.
Oh, sure. I think we heard some folks say that they were wanting, in terms of the diesel electric conversation, that they wanted to see more robust community engagement, perhaps maybe an advisory group put together around this
Didn't I already
with our
talk about
agency.
this?
So just curious as to how
There's no advisory
either we
group.
can make that
We already
happen.
talked about this.
Lyft riders.
I don't want to listen to her.
Thank you. Questions for Director Gonzalez? Seeing none, then we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the General Manager report.
All right, the
A
Bozo.
couple items noted.
The
Mr. General
Canadian
Manager,
report.
do you want to get into those?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Board President, members of the board. So the overall report includes 3 items today. Of course, the monthly ridership report, give an update on the transition to HOP, how that's going. And thirdly, just want a quick update on the
Before they
Southwest
fucking
Corridor,
blew
which
it.
you'll see, if you've seen, or will be seeing more and more public coverage in the media. Firstly, on the ridership, we carried just about 7.9 million rides on the system in September. The ridership
7.9 million rides. A better figure to know is how many people are using the system, not how many rides they're giving. Of course, they say rides because it sounds better than people.
It was flat year to year,
Flat,
down by
just
about a
flat.
half a percentage point.
Yeah.
Comparing this to last year, this time we were up over 1%. I think it's important to note this change is also where we launched our largest bus service in Trimet history
That's
last year at this
blowing. I
time.
don't even believe that.
We also started work.
Largest bus service in Trimet history. It was 2.5% increase. Okay, let's cut this bullshit out. As I said in the last report, he gets paid to lie, and he does it very well.
This month, as you heard in public testimony on the Gresham rail rebuilding project. So anytime you do those things required a 2-week shutdown. So those have an impact. We saw that reflected in about a 1.6% drop in ridership. However, on the bus side, we were up 1.6% on the bus ridership number overall. So and I think to one of the comments that was made earlier that ridership continues to trend down. In fact, it's about 5 months now where ridership actually has been up. So
Yeah, it's been flat.
So I think you're starting to see.
Hasn't been up 1%. You know, that's flat. You know, the people that are using it are not going to stop using it because the people that are currently using it have to use it.
See some of the investment. It takes time to put the product on the street before people can get accustomed and attuned to it. So the trips on the frequent service lines for buses were flat, and west continues to be the challenge at 10.9% down. So I think you're going to see that continue on a fixed contract. So that will continue to be a
Contract. Why don't
challenge
they
for
just
us.
abrogate the contract, pay the feds back, and forget it? I mean, it'll be less expensive to get rid of it than to keep it.
Second up is I'd like to give you a quick update on HOP. Again, as we all know, we are been transitioning to HOP. We've been working on this program for about 4 years. So complex transitions like this take time. But we're moving quite fast now. And a year ago, we stopped the sale of all the paper products at about 115 of our retail locations. However, to remind you that the hot cards now are also aggregate at actually over 500 locations. So we closed some, opened up a far larger retail network throughout the region. And I think that is showing dividends for us already, creating access to all elements of our community. And then last April, we converted our ticket vending machines to HOP. So these are all part of a scaled rollout and transition that we're embarked on. If you also remember that we launched the HOP virtual card on the Apple Wallet, truly unique in North America. Others in Chicago, New York are now being activated through Apple.
Big deal.
And it's a real tribute to our team, that our close relationship with Apple as a strategic
You know, bells and whistles baloney that Trimet is so good at.
partner with them. Again, 30% of our active HOP cards are virtual. What that means is they actually have the HOP card on their phone. So it's and we're seeing really good uptake in this, so which is great. In May, we said we begin winding down operations of the Trimet ticket app, so we had to close one to get the transfer over to the other. That seems to be going well. And also, we said we no longer sell tickets in the app come August, which
Yeah, they just keep changing it. And every time they change it, more money for the inside crowd, more money for capital budgets. It's just this endless stream of money that keeps going to things that are not actually transit related.
we in fact have done. This has all been part of the program to transition over by the end of this calendar year, early January. And part of the next steps are a very robust, as you may see on some of the trains, which I took out here today, and hopefully others did as well.
Sorry, I still have a
Our marketing outreach kicked into really high gear, looking at multiple channels of how we got to talk to our different customers to help them in the transition. There's some, as we all know, who are quick adopters. Just let me put the app on, let me go, I'm on self-functioning. Others need support in the transition, and typically in a project like this, there's people who wait to the last minute. So we're managing each of those segments, knowing how many people.
I can't wait till the next month meeting and see how he handles the uproar that they've created over what he's talking about right here. He's saying, yeah, they haven't. Look, next meeting, we'll see how he handles this.
Approximately 300,000 boardings a day, you've got to get any and all across the finish line, if you will, as part of a successful transition. So,
or you give them a $175 ticket, which is what you ended up doing, you idiot.
So I've given the team a December 31st deadline and asked the riders to use up their old tickets or exchange them. So we've been doing outreach since September. We've done 31 throughout the metro area at different locations, transit centers, community centers, special Saturday hours, our Trimet ticket office, etc. So we know we've got to be more accessible to try and help with this transition and change. So, and even shared some of this with the state as they transition to licensing. Hey, if there's ways to help, we all have to be a part of that outreach of transition, even for licenses, let alone for smart cards. Again, September alone, we had nearly 900 individual exchanges, so you can see the volume coming. And if you've taken the system, which only a month or so ago, it was more hit and miss whether you actually heard the tapping of the sound of the hop reader going. Now it's becoming very, very common sound when you're selling a bus in particular. So you can see us, we're basically around the 50% mark of usage. So you're going to hear that sound as a regular part of our life, which I think is exciting. So tremendous headway there.
Success.
On the paratransit side, we began the conversion fall as a beta test. The public launch happened in March of 19. The transition now is fully underway, and we're converting up to about 1,000 individuals and customers a month. Because we know that these are some of our most vulnerable customers in the community, we know it's going to take extra time, and that's time we're going to invest in helping that transition be successful then. The intention here is that segment of our customers, important customer base, will transition by 2021. And the last two notes I maybe pass along here is, again, we're at the 50% adoption rate, and this is where it starts the nucleus of scale starts to kick in, particularly with our institutional passes, the OHSUs and the others who've got corporate programs in the background. So we're now turning that on and converting them. And there's complexities with each because they each have different technologies they have to interface, et cetera. So this is where you'll see the volumes really start to change. The last comment I make on HOP is that 90%, this is really interesting, 90% of our cards are registered, which is meaning that the riders, they want the protection, they want the convenience.
They want the tracking. 90% of riders have registered so that they can be tracked. Okay, that's the truth here.
They trust us. This is a
they trust you. That's hilarious.
very high percentage compared to others, which are usually in the 30s, 40s, maybe 50s range. So I think this is a real tribute to the work the team has done and the value proposition, the relationship of not just a card, but a relationship in the future. So I think that's very exciting. The next comment and third item I'd perhaps leave you with is just a quick update that you are well aware of as a board, but also for the public at home is on the Southwest Corridor. We're marching to the end of the calendar year, December, to reach an agreement through the steering committee with the region to try and develop solidify the alignment to Bridgeport is the objective, and also, of course, the ever important and often forgotten about financial. And so you need the money to be able to pull this off. I really want to give credit to Leo Robbins, Dave Unsworth, Steve Witter, and many others who are not here, and also our partners at the City of Portland, Tiger, Tuwala.
The usual mutual dick sucking between all of the various governmental tax-funded bureaucrats who constantly love to congratulate each other on shit.
Sherwood, and Metro, of course, because it really does take a village to pull off a $2.8 billion type of project of this magnitude and scale. The great news is a compliment to the teams. They've been able to reduce, since I've last given you an update, about $120 million in cost scope. We are working with Metro and some of our other partners on reallocating supplemental funding for this. So what we had reported to you in the past was about a $462 million shortfall to be able to be competitive, what we believe, with the FTA, to be able to go compete at the national level for funds.
They ain't going to get anything if Trump's reelected. You know that, right? I mean, and there's a good chance he's going to be reelected. Let's be honest. The Democrats are a party of idiots, and Trump can outdo them. He just knows how to tie them up in knots. I mean, Trump is the master of manipulation.
So the good news is that we are down from $462 million to what we believe is about $100 million.
Yeah, right. Sure.
So all this in the last 3 weeks. So I just really want to tip.
In 3 weeks, they figured out, oh, we were $400 million short, but now we're only $100 million. Just trust us with these figures, public. We really know what we're doing, and we wouldn't lie to you. We wouldn't manipulate anything to manipulate your brain, right? No.
The hat to the behind-the-scenes village, and the elected officials, Commissioner Rogers, Mayor Snyder, many others who've been helping work. As we all know, those who've been through these before, this is not easy work. So we're down to about $100 million, and we're working just as hard on finishing that gap. That would give us what we believe also is a competitive ratio of the percent we would be looking for from the federal government, somewhere around that 42% range.
And if Trump is winning,
so we think it allows us to be at a competitive federal level. So some excellent progress, but we are far from.
Notice how he doesn't mention how he doesn't have any money to build this. He's hoping he's going to get 42%, but he doesn't mention how the voters haven't approved this yet. You see how expert he is in manipulating facts
across into the touchdown zone yet. So I think good news overall. With that, happy to answer any questions you have, and I'll save my comments on the transit-oriented development piece specifically for the resolution about to come.
Okay. Any questions for the general manager? I think we're ready then to move on to our regular agenda. So let's go to agenda item 3.
All right, that's the end of that. Apparently, we'll cut it there.